Okay, we look good. Everyone, welcome to WLDL 2025 WEX Division lower bracket semifinals between Marci, Beaucoup, and No Limits. Apologies for the unpreparedness. I was just able to cast game one, and so bear with me while I get the stream up and running.
It is Radiant's ban. Dire's turn to ban. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. Dire's turn to pick.
All right, so starting off, we have, let's see what kind of bands we have. Lich, Undying, Tide, Nyax, coming up from the side of Marci Beaucoup versus Viper, Weaver, and Necrophos. Kind of a set of unusual bans there. I think Tide and Nyax have been commonly banned in this league. And starting picks, gonna see a Pudge first pick. That's pretty interesting by Marci Beaucoup. Beaucoup? We'll call him Marci B. And NLZ picking a little bit more of a standard pick in the Wraith King Pudge. Definitely some kind of a playmaker hero, but also something that can get shut down pretty hard via picks. Anything like a long range disable can prevent the Pudge from being able to dismember targets. You can pick heroes that don't really care if they get hooked, something like an Ursa. And I'm surprised to see it come out first pick. Perhaps one of the players is very skilled at it. Right now I'm looking at the statistics for both these teams. And yeah, so it does appear that Marci does pick Pudge. They picked it 11 times this league. And it has a 63% win rate with them. So they're obviously doing pretty well at it. They've also picked Wraithing a lot. So No Limit's kind of taking that pick from them. Next band's coming out, we're going to see Venge, Clockwork, Lone Druid. I'm going to be honest, I don't see much of like cohesion from these picks. All these heroes, like they do different things. We're going to see Treant coming out. So that's 2 strength melee characters on Marci B. 2 fairly slow strength characters. A lot of right click damage in lane though. When I see a Treant Protector, I think immediately of heroes like Sniper or Drow. Stuff like that. Something long range, able to pair very well with the Triad lane. Night Stalker's got to come out, so we have 4 strength melee heroes being picked. Lots of right click damage. Lots of tank. I feel like this is like one of the best Timbersaw games I've seen for either team.
Radiant's turn to pick. Warlock.
We're going to see Warlock come out. The Night Stalker doesn't really care about getting hooked by the Pudge. But Warlock definitely does, because the Warlock tends to channel his soup.
5 seconds.
And so he's stationary during that time, so a very easy hook target for the Pudge if he's ever able to do that. But Rock is pretty good versus like these tanky frontline heroes as well. You can Fatal Bonds, you can drop the summon, and generally do a lot of damage. Also, another nice thing about the Rock is it kills trees, so you can break whatever swath of forest the tree is hiding in to better try and catch them out. Try to see if I can get a co-caster here to help me with this. But Marci Beaucoup is working on their third pick. Looking at this team, I see a lot of durability, hard to team fight into with the Warlock. They're going to go Windrunner. NLZ does have Disable for the Windrunner. But Warlocks is a little bit harder to maintain. You just have the Rock essentially, and Windrunner can run out of the soup. And everything Windrunner can do is get Gale, and Gale is pretty good versus Warlock as well because you can move him while he's channeling. So making this Warlock not have a fun time in this game. Night Stalker, I feel, has a pretty decent time against Windrunner. If he's ever able to get on top of her, like she does have the E to run away or prevent him from attacking. So it's if this is like a support Windrunner, even if it's not, if this is going to be like a squishy build Windrunner, then at least it's a hero that has some kind of defensive option to deal with a Night Stalker. One thing I'm worried about right now is AoE damage on Marci Beaucoup for the skeletons because Wraith King's Bone Guard is the facet usually picked. They pick up the Sniper, so they're going to have that pairing available to them, the Sniper and the Tree, and that's a very strong lane. Very hard to deal with that with any kind of hero combination. So the Sniper's likely going to have a good game if they pair it with that Tree and Protector.
10 seconds. 5 seconds.
There we go, got my chat. All right. So if I'm no limits, I'm looking at this team. I don't think there's a 4 that really helps deal with the Sniper Tree and Protector lane. You generally want to get something with like a ranged attack that can just hit the creeps. Maybe like a Razor or something that doesn't get bullied by the Tree and Protector. But obviously don't do Razor 4 if this is going to be a Night Stalker 3. 4s to go with the Night Stalker, you may just want to get something with like regen, like a Abaddon, something like that to try and just keep the Night Stalker topped off so he's not getting bullied all the time by the Tree and the Sniper. Because otherwise, this Night Stalker is not really going to have a good lane if he's not able to sustain against the Sniper Treant. Bottom lane, if it is a Warlock Wraith King, that's a pretty solid lane by itself. They get a Bounty Hunter. So this tells me that they're either just going to ignore the creeps and run the Sniper to try and bring him down, or they're just going to put a bunch of sentries in lane and try to blow up this Tree and Protector when he's alone. Or this could give them the option to just completely sack the lane, have Night Stalker just soak XP while the Bounty Hunter runs around, just because it is such a overpowering safe lane. Next bands coming out are going to be Bloodseeker from No Limits. They're probably looking at a 2.
5 seconds remain.
I'm not sure what drafting order Marci Beaucoup does, but looking at the heroes that the 2 plays,
Radiant's turn to ban.
it's heroes like Silencer, Zeus, Razor, Death Prophet.
It is Dire's ban.
Spectre Husker comes out from Marci Beaucoup. Spectre tells me that they're thinking the 1, they don't see the 1, which is kind of weird because Wraith King seems like the best one here. Like, do you really want to run a 2 Wraith King? I don't think this is a support Night Stalker. That sounds awful. They ban out the Husker, though, which would shred the Treant Protector and Pudge, but otherwise doesn't seem to be a very good ban here. I feel like you want to ban stuff that... I guess you want to ban stuff that goes in with the Night Stalker and combos with the Night Stalker, because if the Night Stalker is ever able to get vision of the Sniper, the Spectre can just jump in. And the Huskar could perhaps get like a Blink Dagger or something and go in with the Night Stalker. Try and like jump this Sniper, because right now he's the scariest hero on the side of Marci Beaucoup. They'll ban out Bloodseeker Void. So they're probably expecting this to be like a mid-sniper. Or maybe even a support sniper. And they pick up the Queen of Pain. So that's a hero that can go in with the Night Stalker and try and burst heroes that he goes on. This tells me that this is likely going to be a 1 Wraith King. Mid Queen of Pain. And Marci Beaucoup is going to pick up the Alchemist. Okay. In terms of skin game, I'd probably... That is a weird looking Treant set. That thing looks cool. Also, you have that very expensive Pudge set. I'm probably going to give it to Marci just because they have like a swirly thing going on. No LimitZ definitely has some cool skins as well, though. Both teams really showing up with the skin game here. If I had to pick a favorite, I'd say that if they put the Sniper, actually it's going to be Greg. Greg is the mid. So this is going to be a mid Sniper, 1 Alchemist. So Alchemist Treant versus Night Stalker Bounty, I'm guessing. Well, that changes up the dynamic. I feel like Sniper's going to have a pretty good lane versus this Quap. But I feel like the other lanes are going to suffer. No LimitZ has a real chance of just winning out the side lanes. I think this Pudge is going to have to do a lot of work in the early game to make space for his Alchemist Sniper, because that's a pretty greedy duo there.
Prepare for battle.
But we're going to start the game. Both teams are going to smoke up and start walking at each other down the mid lane. In terms of first blood, I'd say that Radiant is slightly advantaged. Just because that Pudge hook, really able to get heroes isolated and surrounded very quickly if they are able to land it. Also, they have a lot of base damage between the Pudge and the Treant. So if they're able to like slow heroes and able to wail on them, that's going to be a lot of damage coming out and bringing down any kind of hero they target. But both teams are going to be invading the other's jungles and setting up vision in there. Interesting ward here. Gives vision of the high ground, but it's kind of in a spot where it can't be de-warded. Yeah, so support Bounty, support Warlock, core Wraith King, core Night Stalker, likely a mid Queen of Pain. Alchemist is going to be separating from the team, going to be seen by this Obs. I think Night Stalker went low ground for a split second and was seen. Maybe not, though. Doesn't seem like we're going to have a first blood here before minute 0. And I have to turn on zoom, but before we do that, Wraith King does walk high ground, finds a Wind Ranger and Treant. It's just these two heroes here, so I'm not sure if they're going to be able to catch this guy. Treant's a pretty slow hero. Wraith King could be able to run to lane, and Warlock has to go a long way around. In mid lane, looks like Pudge did land a hook on the Queen of Pain, and that's going to make her very low going into the Sniper. That's never a pleasant experience. Actually, we have a treant going in from behind with the flank. This could be first blood right here, as the sniper, yep, is going to kill the Queen of Pain there. So that's a really devastating loss for Queen of Pain. Honestly, she probably wanted to die there to reset resources, but giving the first blood to the sniper mid, that is no bueno. Treant's actually sticking around, gonna TP in, drops this, Queen drops the sentry, tries to look for the ward. And when there's a moment in the, or a moment of pause, I want to turn on zoom. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Alchemist and Treant are throwing some spells out on the Bounty Hunter, but Treant's pretty low, so he has to back out early. Running in the mid lane kind of caused him to get a little bit low there. Alright, where is the zoom? Disable camera. There we go. Alright, so we can go a little bit further out. To introduce the players, we have Tao's Maniac on the Pause 1 Alchemist, supported by Raiden on the Treant Protective. They're going against Kid Magic, who's playing offlane on the Dire. With that Night Stalker, supported by Slaymate on the Bounty Hunter. In the mid lane, it's going to be Greg Polina's Great Uncle Bailey on the Sniper versus B on the Queen of Pain. And lastly, top lane, we have Poor Windrunner being played by Relapse Gaming, being supported by Seth Lord on the Pudge. They're going up against Waste Manager on the Wraith King and Big Daddy Energy on the Warlock. In terms of lanes, I think this Alchemist is going to have a little bit of a rough time before he gets more points in his acid spray. I think Nighttime Night Stalker and Bounty Hunter combined is a lot of damage and a lot of armor. It's pretty hard to go into these heroes, and this Treant as well, with his very little base armor, is going to have a hard time trying to trade with these guys. In the mid lane, Sniper did get the first blood. Even like before that, I think it was already favored towards him. But looking at last, this Queen of Pain is beating him even with that def. 13-5 versus his 7-1. So even though I think it's Sniper favored, it may be a little bit closer than that, at least if he keeps playing the way they are. Pudge is going to land a nice hook on Big Day Energy up here, just to get him a little bit low. Windrunner has the power shot, going to land it. That's going to be a pickup on her. Wraith King has to be a little bit careful here. Has the 6 stick, but level 2 power shot is a 270 damage nuke, so just a couple right clicks here. This guy could go down. That's why I'm watching it right here. I think he doesn't appreciate just how much damage the power shot does. Ooh, just dodges it. Nice dodge there. That would have killed him. Yeah, top lane, this is going to be a scary lane, I feel. Windrunner just does a lot of damage, and they don't really have good ways to get on top of her and like keep her locked down. If she's able to like get mana in this lane and just spam out the power shots, it's going to be a little bit difficult for her to die. Nice hook by Seth Lord on this Wraith King. Gonna try running at him with the Rot. Throws out the Blood Grenade, still chasing. One more right click's gonna do it. Ooh, I don't know if the creep's got him here. He's gonna try and go for the Pudge. Let's see who gets the kill. Yeah, the Pudge is gonna get the kill there. Queen of Pain though is gonna rotate over. He's gonna pick up that nice kill. Counter kill on the Pudge. Bottom lane. Yeah, Queen of Pain did blink onto the rune, looks like, to secure it, and Sniper's trying to punish that. But Queen of Pain's going to be able to get 2 runes here to top off after all that. Sniper's continuing, though, has the blink in 1 second. Uses it to get away. She has too low resources to really stay in this lane, though. Bottom lane, the acid spray levels. Actually, we have a kill mid as Pudge. Looks like he landed a nice hook. I have to keep a better eye on the mini-map. Bounty is doing quite a bit of damage to the Alchemist. They're going to try and turn this. Raiden is chasing on the Treant, but he's very slow on that hero. So Bounty's just going to be able to run away with that massive movement speed the hero has. Pudge looks like he's transitioned into a roamer at this point. Kind of feeling that the Windrunner isn't really in that much danger in that top lane. They can't really get on top of her. So he's able to do these moves and make plays across the map. Bottom lane, Bounty's going to get caught in a tree, taking a lot of damage from the Nature's Grasp there. One more right click will be able to kill him. Drops the Leech Seed. That should do it. Yeah, he's going to go down to the Leech Seed there. So pick up on the Treant Protector. Looking at last hits at the just before the 6-minute mark, Night Stalker's doing the best with 29.5, followed by kind of a cluster of heroes. The rest of the cores are kind of farming equivalently. Windrunner notably has 10 denies, so she's definitely controlling the lane a lot better than the Wraith King is. Queen of Pain did pick up that bottom amplified damage rune. We'll see if she does anything with that. Bounty's going to be chasing after a Alchemist. He pops it early because he doesn't have detection, but the Bounty doesn't have any invis. It is daytime, so the Night Stalker can't really contribute much to this fight, but it looks like they're going to go for it anyway. Alchemist getting very low, has a W for either a self-deny or a stun in just a second here. He's going to channel it, but just instantly pop it out. Alchemist's not really close to his 6, so he's going to have to just turtle up a little bit before he's able to come back into lane. Bounty getting a little bit low here. Leech Seed is actually gonna punish him pretty heavily, just walking into the tree and who has 99 base damage. Never gonna be fun, even with all that armor. At the 7-minute mark, Treant does steal it from Dire, and is the other one available? Can't tell if the other one's available. Queen of Pain hiding mid with the amplified damage, looking for potentially a go. She's gonna blink in, but doesn't feel like she has enough damage to kill this sniper. Top lane, we're gonna have a bit of a dive as the Windrunner windruns towards the Warlock. Pudge is going to get stunned up by the Wraith King, so a little bit of split targeting going on here. Queen of Pain's going to TP up here with the last seconds of amplified damage. Wraith King is still chasing this Pudge, but it's going to have to give up on the kills. The Quap goes on the Windrunner, relapse game, and gets the Windrun running now. Quap does not have mana for blink and damage, so Windrunner able to run away. Meanwhile, on the back, Pudge looks like did go back and got the kill on the Wraith King, but he was able to get the counter kill. Ryan, meanwhile, is getting pretty low here. Not sure if he's aware that the bounty hunter's running after him. There's a sentry right here that's going to show, so he should be fine there. In terms of items, Alchemist, it looks like he's going for that early Radiance. And Night Stalker just working on Echo Saber. In the mid lane, Sniper went double Wraithband, Treads working on Dragonlance, so pretty standard. Queen of Pain, double Null Talisman. And Brown Boots. Not sure what item she's going for. Looks like there's Ping's top. They want to try and kill this Wraith King. They land the hook. Shackle does not connect with a tree though. Yeah, they're just going to be able to burst this Wraith King down with this massive physical damage. Along with the Focus Fire. So he dies before he gets his 6. They know the Warlock's here. They see his courier. Treant's trying to run after him, but Warlock has a head start. He's gonna boogie on out of there. Radiant are showing quite a bit under this creep wave, so Dire knows exactly what's going on up there.
Structures are fortified.
Sniper's just been hanging on this lane, trying to apply damage to the tower. Quap's only rotated once, so she's been around to deny these pushes. Nice deny by the Sniper there to get that rune before Quap could get it. Pudge is going to find a Wraith King, still level 5. Assassinate's going to come out. That's going to guarantee that kill. Queen of Pain in the area with the Warlock, but not really a lot of good targets for him to go on here. Queen of Pain's just going to blink out. Seems like Dire may want to turn this into something. Bounty's coming in from the side. Queen of Pain has the smoke. Sniper is kind of being left by his team here. Doesn't seem like Dire's aware of it though. Top lane, Night Stalker's gonna TP and immediately pops the Dr. Sentry. They're gonna go after the tree and he's gonna pop really quickly. Queen of Pain's gonna solo echo this, solo Sonic the Windrunner. Doing a ton of damage on her, but no follow-up, and she's gonna be able to get out of there. Sniper, meanwhile, just gets gone on by the Night Stalker. Nice blinking by the Beaucoup to secure that kill. 3 heroes dead on the side of Radiant. As NLZ picks up that fight and a good chunk of change off the death of that Wraith King. Alchemist, meanwhile, left to farm on his own down here. We're gonna start doing a bit of damage to this tower. Not sure how many TPs are available. Looks like they have about 3 if they wanted to go down and contest. Nice hook by the Pudge, picking off the Quap in the middle of that creep wave. Very well done by Cephalor there. And I can see why they have a above 66% win rate with this hero. Seems like Dire's going to funnel more heroes into this lane though. Bottom tower is going to fall to the Alchemist. No one did go down there to defend it. As Alchemist continues to free farm. Smoke Treant gonna barely dodge the Bounty Hunter. His Bounty is just hanging out behind the on the enemy's high ground. Gonna reveal that they have a ward there. And just run out of there. Meanwhile, top lane, they're gonna drop the rock on Relapse Gaming, who's trying to win run out of there. It's only a level 1 win run though, so 3-second duration. Might be enough, though. Lands the Shackle Shot. That's going to keep them alive for a little bit longer. But Night Stalker coming in from the side now. It is nighttime. Alchemist has the stun channeled, but stuns himself. Does not get the Night Stalker if that Wop drop steal on the Windrunner, just guaranteeing that kill. And they finally bring this Windrunner down. But that will be the only kill from that fight thus far. Wraith King is going to be solo pushing bottom with the Bone Guard. And that tower is going to fall extremely quickly if no one shows up down there. Objectives for Radiant right now are just this tier 1 mid. It is at half HP. Windrunner is going to go there, has the focus fire. Wop is coming over. Could go onto this Windrunner, but there's no Sonic for the extra damage. Seems like there's going to be a fight here in a second as Night Stalker is running in. Windrunner able to get the run off though as Train Protector drops the Overgrowth just to stop this go onto the Windrunner. Nice power shot's going to finish off that Bounty Hunter. And Treant's just kind of caught in the middle. Hook gonna catch the Warlock. No mana for anything. He's just going to die. Alchemist now shows up, channeling the stun, able to get it off on the Queen of Pain. Night Stalker just barely able to dodge that power shot there. He would have died to that. And this is going to be the last tier 1 for Dire going down. It is 14 minutes, so Night Stalker is going to run over and get the Wisdom on his team. And going to be interesting to see how RCB transitions after getting these tier 1s. Are they going to wait on item timings for their cores? Are they going to keep up the pressure? Are they going to get good vision up? Wraith King goes back top after getting that bottom tower. And looking at the drafts now, I'd say that Radiant scale way harder with the Alchemist and the Sniper, because if you just let these heroes farm, unless you have heroes that can jump them and kill them, it's very difficult to be able to play against these heroes. The only jumpers for NLZ like right now are Quap and Night Stalker. Eventually they'll have a Wraith King with a Blink Dagger if he chooses to go that item to like try and jump on top of these two heroes. But one thing I'm worried about is this Alchemist is free farming. I feel like his Radiance is a little bit delayed, although he's top CS by quite a bit. 98 last hits at 15 minutes. Sorry, we have a find on the Warlock. Seems like Pudge landed a hook on him or something of that nature. And he dropped the rock, which probably wasn't what he wanted to do because the chaotic offering goes down immediately and they won't have that for the next fight. But as I was saying, Alchemist doesn't seem like he's having the greatest time farming his Radiance. I've definitely seen earlier Radiance timings, but he is just passive farming, and Radiant are now knocking on the tier 2 top. Only a bounty hunter up here to contest. Focus fire on the tower. Means this thing's going to go down pretty quickly. Bounty could make a play on this tree in here. It might cost him his life, but Trackhold might make it worth it. Wraith King Moonmouth is going to drop the Bone Guard on mid. Nice hook by Seth Lord on the Wraith King. That's going to bring him down. Yep, gets the ultimate. He's going to come back up. Quap is in the area, but it's just hurt in terms of support. Yeah, Wraith King's going to go down a second time. That will ensure his demise. Wraith King unable to get anything off that really, except a little bit of tower damage. Alchemist is hard farming the enemy jungle without any kind of mana. He pops the Soul Ring or a unstable concoction. Kind of scare the Queen of Pain out of there. She doesn't really have the sustained damage to bring him down. Madstone on the floor. Someone get the Madstone. Yeah, but it's just sort of feeling like the draft for Marci B can kind of just roll over NLZ, especially with the Golem on cooldown. Because that's a huge part of the team fight right now. This Bounty Hunter's playing aggressive. No sentry on the floor to reveal him. When we're under no mana, Pudge is going to land the hook onto the Warlock. He doesn't have rock or anything to to try and stop this. He's just going to go down. Quack completely abandons her Bounty Hunter as well. And Bounty Hunter's going to get assassinated and pick up for the sniper there. So this is going to be another tier 2. It just doesn't feel like NLZ has the team fight necessary to deal with this. Looks like I got a bot in my chat. That's no fun.
Dire's middle tower is no more.
B is working towards Dagon on the Queen of Pain. Wraith King is still going Radiance. This is going to be like a 20+ minute Radiance unless his farm picks up. Not sure I'd go Radiance at this point in the game. Night Stalker finished deck Echo Saber. Not sure what he's going for next. He probably actually has an item flying out. Yeah, he bought a Blink Dagger. That's a pretty nice Blink Dagger pickup actually. Just trying to pick off these priority heroes is so key, especially this sniper. But Radiant are just gonna keep their early game advantage and start pressuring bottom here. They don't have creeps. Creeps are way back here. So they're just posturing in front of the tower, just waiting.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I definitely feel like Dire can win a team fight though. Like between the Sonic and the Rock and like Wraith King and Night Stalker just doing a bunch of damage to one hero, they can definitely do a lot of damage.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant should look to their top tower.
Doesn't seem like Dire's too interested in fighting though. Bounty's gonna run under tower. They popped us. Pudge misses the hook. Pudge going under tower. I don't think they have Glyph to do the big AoE damage, so Bounty's just gonna be sacked again. Dire seem to be willing to just wait on the high ground for this. Let's see if I can ban that bot. I think it's like /ban. I'd have to log in. Yeah, I'll get the bot later. Let's go over to net worth, take a look at that. Yeah, Alchemist leading the pack, followed by his 2 other cores. And then the rest of the Dire cores and other supports. So 8k gold advantage. A lot of that is locked up in the Alchemist, about 2.5k. So it's not the end of the world. It's like it's mostly a bunch of tower gold at this point as well, like tower gold and Alchemist. So this game is still pretty even in terms of net worth, like real net worth. Radiant going to be working on the Tormentor. Going to be taking a lot of damage, but they do get it. And it's going to be picked up by the Pudge. which gives him the old hook facet, like the, I think it's longer range? No, just the distance as damage. Gonna be a smoke play by NOZ as they run top. Trying to find something. Alchemist is gonna be up here if they're able to get vision of him. Wraith King's gonna show in lane. Alchemist kind of just hanging around the area. Not sure if they see him. Yeah, they see the acid spray on the ground, so they know there's an Alchemist up here. But all of Tyre is just hanging behind the Wraith King, using him as bait. As we start having some TP rotations, Furin coming, or Treant coming up here, along with the sniper. Alchemist just retreats. Dyer's spending a lot of time on this smoke. The smoke's gonna pop. They're not sure that it's a Treant though. They're pinging it, or the Treant's pinging it at least. Yeah, they're gonna... Treant's gonna reveal. They're gonna go on the Wraith King. Dude drops the Bone Guard. Oh, they find the sniper. Night Stalker blinked on him, try and pick them off at an overgrowth on, I think, 4 heroes there is going to keep them away from the sniper for the time being. Queen of Pain's going to drop the Sonic Wave. Sniper's going to go down. So they managed to get that kill. It takes a bit, though. They have no detection for this Treant Protector. Does it seem like Dire just trying to get out of there? Actually, Windrunner was hitting the tower. So Bounty went back there to deal with it. But Queen of Pain's going to be left behind. She's going to be able to blink out of there. Night Stalker now blinks in, trying to go on this Alchemist who is ulted, so not really taking any damage there. A hook or a hook dismember on the Queen of Pain is going to bring her down. And Night Stalker now getting low. He's running out of teammates here in his top lane. Just no real places for them to TP in, as the Alchemist now with the Blink Dagger blinks forward, trying to find this Night Stalker, but he's able to fly away. It just feels a little bit difficult to take these team fights. Like, Dire just spent so much time up there trying to find something. And they really didn't find anything. They needed a sentry on the ground for that Treant, who was the first in to get vision for Radiant to make the initiation. I do like trying to go for like a play like that, though. Baiting the Wraith King, a hero that you can afford to bait. And then just jumping on whoever goes on him. I do like the concept of that. It just kind of took a long time to really get anything out of that. Wraith King's courier died. I'm guessing that had the... looks like the bounty hunter was found. Dust was popped. Hudge blinked in, so I'm not sure how that happened, but Wraith King looks like he had his courier die. I'm wondering if his radiance was on that, because if it died, that happened. That's another 3 minutes delayed, where he doesn't have his radiance, just a super late radiance timing. As Radiant start knocking on the high ground. Gotta go for range racks first as Pudge blinks into the trees, try and get a better position for the hook. There's no tree in here for the time being, neither is there a Quap. She has 10 seconds on her portal. So Dire not really too keen to start a fight without her, I'd imagine. Yeah, 3 seconds left on that TP scroll for Queen of Pain. This will just be a free set of racks here after the bounty goes down. Queen of Pain bottom, pushing in the bottom lane, trying to make a little bit of space, force a TP rotation, but Radiant aren't rotating anybody at the moment. They're just going to reposition mid. Damn, we got a lot of bots in the chat these days.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Looks like Radiant are just going to back off at this time.
Dire are scanning for enemies.
Gotta be another smoke by Dire. That's gonna be revealed by a creep in the lane. I'm not sure if Radiant was paying attention to that though. That has reminded me to change out this weather effect for next game. It's kind of making things a little bit too red.
Scanning for enemies.
Wraith King's gonna be seen mid. Alchemist is gonna throw a stun on him. No real follow-up though. Sniper and Treant are behind waiting. Hooked by the Pudge, finds nothing. Treant's gonna blink in. He's gonna find two heroes. Drops the Oiler Growth. That's gonna catch out these two supports here. Warlock does have the rock if he wants to use it. Does use it now. I think it's a 3-man rock because they're able to bring down the sniper very quickly, but because of the two supports, Night Stalker now just trying to find a target to go on. But to BKB to Alchemist is his only go. That's not really the one to really want to go on. As the Pudge now blinks in, finds the Night Stalker, dismembers him, keeps him locked down. Hook will finalize the kill. As Alchemist BKB does run out, but at this point they've run out of heroes on Dire side. Queen of Pain's gonna, I think, blink away. I think that's what that blink was. As not really able to, ooh, nice blink away, not able to, yeah, I think his dismember was actually on cooldown on Seth Lord there, so unable to disable the Queen of Pain. Windrunner bottom did kill that tower, so Rack's exposed down there. Alchemist low mana, 10 seconds left on ultimate. This could be a big kill. Ooh, the Shuriken at the very end gets that kill. That's a huge chunk of gold right there going to Quap. And Pudge, meanwhile, tried to save his buddy. And will go down. Double kill for the Queen of Pain. So they are losing buildings. That was technically a 4 for 4 at the end of it, if you want to count that as one big fight. But gold and XP definitely favoring Dire there. As Wraith King does have his Radiance and is hovering 4,700 gold. What could he be buying next? Looks like it's going to be AC. They're going to find a Treant mid, get the track off. The TPs are coming. The Treant is going to go down, so that's a track kill. Bounty will lose his life for it. Does Radiant continue? Yeah, Alchemist is channeling the stun. Going to go on the Queen of Pain. Trying to keep track of both fights here. Queen of Pain's going to be able to blink away. There's an Assassinate off on her. She pops the Illusion. I'm not sure if that was an attempted mana dodge, but the Hook's going to come in. That's going to secure the kill on the Queen of Pain. Tip out on the Windrunner. I think that was the power shot. That was a pretty nice power shot. Meanwhile, Alchemist chasing after this Wraith King top. Wraith King doesn't have mana for ult, even if it wasn't on cooldown. I guess he did have the stick, so could have used that to secure the reincarnation. But these Dire heroes are pretty low level at 28 minutes, so the respawn timers aren't too bad. Alchemist blinking in, gets a stun off on the Night Stalker, who does have Dark Ascension. And looks like Radiant are kind of like split pushing here. Windrunner is focusing on this bottom set of racks, Sniper's pushing mid. Dire just feeling a little bit flustered here as the Hook comes out onto the Bounty Hunter. Pudge is going to be immediately jumped on by the Night Stalker trying to save his life, but a power shot is going to finish up the Bounty Hunter. Sonic Wave onto 3 heroes, bringing the Alchemist low. But I don't know if they have the sustain damage to bring him down. Sniper just peeping this Queen of Pain. She's going to go down. And Pudge just on the high ground waiting for these Dire heroes to run away. He's going to pick them up. Wraith King does get the reincarnation off, but now he's in trouble as the Radiant team is all here, all wailing on him. Gonna bring him down. Wraith King does get the Pudge off of this. And might get a Windrunner? No, the Windrunner is just barely able to get away. She's pretty low actually. Night Stalker, oh, Dark Ascension just ran out. Night Stalker's now getting peeped. Assassinated, he will go down. Bounty has buyback. I'm not sure if he got that in the fight, but could potentially have bought back there. As Radiant now push mid. That's going to be mega creeps for Radiant. As this Alchemist is just ginormous with the Orchid, BKB, Radiant's Blink at 29 minutes. Very hard to fight into this hero. Sonic Wave is still on a 20-second cooldown. I don't know if they have that time to really wait. As the Dire team respawns, they start running out. Alchemist is going to be the one to start the fight. He's going to go on the Queen of Pain with the Orchid. She Dagons though, heals a lot from it. Alchemist now in trouble, runs away, no ultimate. Will go down to the concerted efforts of Dire here. Now Radiant just feeling, uh-oh, our big bad boss just died, so we should get out of here. And they will retreat from Dire base. I don't know We have a blink on the Night Stalker. He blinks in on the Sniper. Yeah, this will start a fight. You want to call it a fight, but Windrunner's just going to turn and focus fire him down. Queen of Pain bounding, not really able to follow up there and help him. Wraith King on the side though, flanking maneuver. Stuns a Mega Siege creep. Probably not the initiation you want. Nice Sonic Wave onto 2 with the Fatal Bonds doing a ton of damage. That's immediately going to kill the Windrunner and the Queen of Pain. Buyback from the Queen of Pain as the Wraith King does go down. He will just spend the rest of his unlife bringing down this Pudge. As Pudge is in the Dire base very low, he's going to go down to the Queen of Pain. Sniper just chilling on so low HP. Spirit Vessel it up, he will go down. That is a wipe on the side of Radiant as creeps finish off the Warlock in the base as Dire base is getting swarmed right now by these mega melee creeps. One tower remaining, which is probably going to go down to this Catapult unless Nightstock can get it. But it's going to be rough. They don't really have very good creep clear on NLZ, at least without items. Right now it's basically just Radiance and Queen of Pain. Void, or Nightstalker went Night Rain, not the AoE Void, so does not have that to try and kill these creeps. So you can see these heroes are really struggling to try and bring these creeps down. Nightstalker just doesn't have the kind of damage necessary to do this. It's really, this early, it's going to be a full-time job between the Wraith King and the Queen of Pain to keep these creeps out of the base. So Radiant have all the time in the world to just respawn, get some smokes, kind of TP back in, and slowly meander back into base. They can wait for these siege creeps to, or these mega creeps to just walk in, give them vision, hit the Ancient, distract Dire team. Windrunner's gonna focus fire Queen of Pain, who is able to blink away. Windrunner now gets jumped on by the Wraith King. She's getting really low. Nightstalker just trying to run after him, has the Dark Ascension, hasn't used it just yet. She's just running, barely running away. Wraith King's gonna go down for her first time. Windrunner just barely gets out of there. Sniper getting, or keeping the Nightstalker in the back. Nightstalker's gonna buy back immediately. Alchemist died during that. Looks like he got isolated as the Nightstalker was drawing the attention of Sniper and the rest of his team. So Alchemist and Pudge both go down. Windrunner too low to really do anything. Sniper's just gonna BKB and hold his ground. He's gonna kill the Warlock. But there's just so many creeps in this base, it's so hard to do anything. Queen of Pain in the back, going to find the low Windrunner. Sniper just assassinating this bounty, will pick up that kill, but that's track kills going the way of Dire. A lot of gold as the creeps are swarming this base, just absolutely swarming. I guess they do have the Golem, so if the Golem is ever on the ground, the Golem can help with the base defense. As it's a full team effort here for Dire to try and defend this base. 6,000 gold swing, even more XP swing. As yeah, Wraith King and Sniper doing the most damage in that fight. And another team wipe, if we look at buyback status here, this is probably more important than Network at this stage. Nightstalker, Queen of Pain, and Warlock all bought back. So if another fight goes sour and those heroes die, won't be able to come back into the fight. Looking at items, Wraith King, again, hovering 4,600 gold. Probably should buy something with this gold and help them in fights. But has that Radiance in Assault Cuirass. At this stage, I might even consider getting some kind of AoE item, maybe even like a Mjolnir, just to deal with these creeps a little bit better. But I suppose you could just go raw damage and rely on the lifesteal. It's just going to be really slow pushing out these waves. Pudge, standard items. Alchemist, looks like he's going AC. And Radiant, playing a little bit more conservative here. Since the last push didn't work out so well, they will go for the Roshan. Windrunner 80, this Roshan should die very quickly. I'm curious to see who they put the Aegis on. I imagine it's the Sniper, because he's kind of the hardest to kill and probably does the most damage in these fights. They could have put it on the Windrunner. Pretty interesting. Smoke out from Dire, they do not have a lot of time to really do anything. These creeps are just coming in constantly. But it looks like it's just these two heroes, a Nightstalker and the Queen of Pain, trying to look for something. Radiant meanwhile smoked up as well. They're just chilling outside Dire base, looking for an inn. As Wraith King and Warlock are the only heroes showing right now. Oh, we're gonna have a double blink in by Alchemist and Treant and Pudge as well. They're just immediately gonna explode this die back to Warlock. He won't be able to drop rock for this fight. Alchemist BKB is trying to find this Wraith King. He's gonna go down once. Sniper in the back, just right-clicking things. Gonna be a very difficult fight here. Night Stalker, fresh BKB, gonna run in with the Dark Ascension, try and get these kills, but Sniper now with the fresh or with the BKB as well, just sits there right-clicking. Nobody is targeting this here. Wraith King does it now. As actually Radiant are going down. Brenner goes down. They just get a pop. But the Sniper's gonna go down. Queen of Pain dieback though. Night Stalker has to run back into base to get resources, and at this point the creeps are just too much. Game 1 going to Marci Beaucoup. And yeah, just Alchemist allowed to free farm, and Alchemist just got big and scary. It's just hard to deal with these heroes. Like, do you go on the Alchemist? Do you go on the Sniper? Just tough for target prioritization. And with the Warlock dying there at the start of the fight, it was just extremely difficult for NLV to come back from that. Anyway, that was game 1. Whatever team loses this series will be eliminated from playoff contention. So stick around for game 2, which could be the last of NLZ. Stick around. Testing, testing. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to WLDL 2025. Wex Division lower bracket semifinals. Elim game best of 3 between Marci, Beaucoup, and No Limits. Marci Beaucoup won the first game in this series, so No Limits is fighting to not get Elim'd. The winner of this series goes on to the grand finals in this division. I have the prior game pulled up here so I can look at the bands. And so far, pretty similar. The Venge is a new ban, but all the other heroes in this banning phase have been banned in the last game. Other than the Wraith King, sorry. Wraith King is banned out this time, so we're not going to see it play this game. The losing team last game had the Wraith King, NLZ, so they ban it themselves. They probably don't want to play it, but they also don't want Marci Beaucoup to play it either, just because Wraith King is such an oppressive hero in this patch, has like a 58% win rate or something. Very difficult to deal with. They also ban out the Pudge, so we're not going to see a Pudge or a Wraith King this game.
10 seconds remain.
Those were the first two picks in game 1.
5 seconds remain. Radiant's turn to pick.
Tide will round out the bans that was banned in the first game. Heroes that did not get banned this time around are Necrophos, Weaver, and the Weaver does get picked this time, so I imagine that Marci Beaucoup has a Weaver player on their team that really likes the hero. So that's going to get first picked. It's going to be interesting to see how NLZ responds to this.
10 seconds remain.
Now, I do play Weaver a lot, and Weaver can be extremely oppressive as a support. You just kind of throw the bugs, and if the enemy picks supports that don't build Yules or Glimmer, they don't have like a built-in way to deal with the bug, like to go invis or to become invulnerable or whatever. You can just destroy supports as the Weaver, hunt them down, kill them, like in the back line of a fight. Just a very mobile hero, very hard to pin down. Supports are forced to buy a lot of sentries to deal with it, and just not a fun time to deal with. Now, in terms of supports that you can pick to deal with the Weaver, like something like a Shadow Demon could work. It's just one instance of invulnerability, but heroes with like invulnerability kill the bug. Anything that can right click a lot, like a Snapfire, can kill the bugs pretty quickly. They go with the Warlock again. NLZ did pick this last game. I felt like it had okay impact last game, especially against like those meaty frontline heroes. Like you're able to just shred those targets when they blink in and try and go on a target. Warlock is okay versus Weaver, mostly because Warlock has that heal to try and like stay alive while the Weaver goes on him. But he doesn't have the greatest right click, not very good speed. He doesn't have invulnerability. And so it doesn't have good armor either. So I think the Weaver is going to have no problem killing this Warlock.
5 seconds remain.
Next bans coming out are similar to last game. We have a Lone Druid coming out. Nyax. Nyax was banned first phase last game. It gets banned second phase this game. Sniper gets banned by No Limits. So 3 heroes they don't want to deal with from No Limits. Pull out the Sniper, the Pudge, and the Wraith King.
10 seconds.
So we're probably going to see 2 new drafts here. In terms of cores that can deal with the Weaver, there you go. There's a support that can deal with the Weaver. So Jakiro is nice with the double attacks to kill the bug very quickly. That's mostly what the hero does. It also combos pretty well with the Warlock. Warlock's ult is pretty reliable.
Seconds remain.
And you can drop macropyres and ice paths on top of it.
5 seconds remain.
Jakiro is just a generally good support right now. He's picked a lot in the pro scene. Offers a lot of damage and control. I feel like this is a great Rubik game if anybody on Marci Beaucoup plays that. Between like the ice paths and the rocks, you can definitely have a bunch of fun spells to steal as a Rubik. Earthshaker gets picked up. So if this is a support Weaver, the Earthshaker definitely provides the team fight like CC and stun that the Weaver lacks.
5 seconds.
Let me see if I can actually pull up who plays Weaver on Marci Beaucoup.
Dire must choose.
It's played by Relapse, who is their core offlane, so this is likely going to be a 3 Weaver. Marci picks up Dragon Knight, so they have a meaty boy in the front line to start fights and surviving fights and have a target while the Weaver goes ham on the back line. They also have heroes for, like, they also have the Dragon Knight to have enemies clump up on for the Earthshaker to come in and Echo Slam. Earthshaker loves having just like a hero that sits on the high ground and right clicks a tower to try and like force enemies to be in bad position. Legion Commander, it's a never good Weaver counter. You can blink in, duel the Weaver, that prevents them from running away. But also, if the Weaver goes Ags, which I'm not sure if this player goes Aghanims on Weaver, then the Weaver can just time-lapse the ally who gets dueled, which I don't think cancels the duel, but it does reset the HP, so it effectively nullifies the duel. They follow up the Legion with a Juggernaut, so very good disable right now on no limits. Juggernaut provides them with quite a bit of sustain. They actually have 3 healing heroes on no limits right now. AA is still in the pool, but I imagine that Marci has picked up their supports at this point. It's going to be a Spirit Breaker, which is usually played by Cephalord, who is the Pudge last game. So this is likely going to be a Spirit Breaker Weaver combo. That sounds nasty. Dragon Knight, who's been played in the past by both Greg and Talisman, so this could be, or Talismaniac, so this could be a 1 or 2 DK. And Earthshaker has been played by Raiden, so probably a 5 Earthshaker. Looking at NLZ, which for some reason doesn't have great
10 seconds.
Information about the team.
5 seconds.
If I do that. Verify that I'm human. There we go. Alright, my stats are kind of bugged for NLZ. They may have had like a team rework in the middle of this league, but just looking at their draft, I imagine this is a 3 Legion, 1 Jug, so they're looking at picking their 2. Marci bans the Quap, so they likely feel the same. No Limits bans a Silencer and a Dawnbreaker. I would be trying to ban 2s here. Those are some interesting 2 bans. Does Greg play those heroes? Yeah, they play a lot of Silencer. Talisman has played Dawn. Relapse has played Dawn. Yeah, it looks like Marci likes playing their Dawn, so maybe just getting that out of the pool in case this is a flex pick DK. And Silencer, yeah, Silencer goes pretty hard against No Limits. They're pretty combo reliant on No Limits, so Silencer is very good anti-combo. Pick up the OD. That's a save for the Legion Commander duel and the Juggernaut ult. So picking up that save is going to feel really nice for Marci. I feel like OD is going to be the priority target almost every single fight if they can't go on the Weaver. And Marci has the stuns to try and protect this OD. They only have Earthshaker and OD ult to like do AoE CC. So No Limits only gets, I guess they get punished pretty hard by if they clump by the Earthshaker. But I was gonna say, like, they can just like have the Legion go in and just drop stuff on the Legion Commander to as their team fight formula. They last pick Rubik goes on B. Interesting. I think B was the 3 last game. I'm interested to see what these lanes are. I think No Limits has a very strong team. They are kind of like Intcaster Alliance, but Marci doesn't have too many ways to deal with Intcasters. A lot of good magic damage, shield DK. I should talk about the skin game. I think No Limits has it in the bag. No skin on Jakiro, but have a nice like red theme going on No Limits. A little bit more plain on Marci between the Weaver and the Spearbreaker. And the Dragonite for another one. Nodi has nothing on him. Like just kind of lacking skins up there on Marci Beaucoup. So draft wise, I think the Spearbreaker and Weaver they need to be a menace for these supports, Warlock, Jakiro, Rubik. No Limits lacks maneuverability. And so their positioning has to be really precise in team fights to not just get comboed to hell by like the Earthshaker and Spearbreaker. Odie is a very nice pick though, to deal with both the Juggernaut and the Legion Commander duel.
Prepare for battle.
Let's see, my hotkey save? No, of course not. Okay, there we go. All right. So starting off the game, we have Marci Beaucoup smoking down to their own triangle. So both teams changing up their movements this game. Last game, they invaded the opponent's jungle. This time, they're going into their own jungles. I think this is a mid Rubik. Core Legion, Core Jug, obviously. Support Warlock, support Jakiro. Yeah, so mid Rubik going up against... where's Greg? Odie. Rubik is going to be able to steal Astral. It's not going to be fun. We're probably going to have a fight here, though, as Weaver's going to go in, get tons of vision. Dyer's gets 5-man fissured, cutting up the team right here. What an amazing fissure block. Radiant are not taking advantage of it, though. Maybe feeling like they don't have the team fight here, but now have an Astral down on the Rubik. He's able to run away. There's not a lot of like commitment going on here, but DK's gonna get focused and is gonna be the first to go down. Earthshaker getting spun down by the Juggernaut. He's gonna go down next. 2 for nothing so far for an LZ. That is the start that they needed if they wanted to stay in the series. Weaver Sakuchiing out of there with low resources, but will be able to tango up before he gets to lane. Odie wanted to go for that bounty, but gonna get punished a little bit by this Rubik. And gonna start out the lane with a little bit low resources. Starting off, I guess we could do introduction. So Relapse Gamer is gonna be on the Weaver 3, supported by Spearbreaker 4, being played by Cephalor. They're going up against Get Magic on the Jug, supported by Big Dad Energy, or BDE on Jakiro. Mid lane is going to be Odie versus Rubik. Greg Berlina's Great Uncle Bailey versus B. And bottom lane, we have a position 1 Dragon Knight, played by Talismaniac, supported by Raiden on the Earthshaker. Going to go up against Waste Manager Legion Commander, supported by Vlad on the Warlock. In terms of lane combos, I think Weaver... They did throw the Jakiro up here to face off against the Weaver, so it's going to be a little bit harder to kill the Jakiro in this lane with the bugs. But I feel like Dire have, or Radiant, sorry, with the Weaver and the Spearbreaker have a little bit easier time getting kills in this lane. I mean, it is Jakiro plus Juggernaut, so they can drop their Qs on a single target and do a ton of damage that way, but it's just, they're never going to kill the Weaver, right? And the Barathum, once he gets his Q, could just save it and get out of there, so it's going to be very difficult for them to be able to kill any of these Radiant heroes. In the mid lane, I'm not sure who wins this matchup before 6. Rubik gets 8. Let's actually pull last hits. Rubik gets a lot of negative damage from Fade Blow, a lot of nuke damage. And the Odie's gets last hits of Arcane Orb though. And Astral's going to be a real pain in the butt, at least early on. Actually, we have DK getting really low. Looks like Legion got a fat nuke on the DK there. Juggernaut is also pretty low, so Silent are getting pretty low. I'm going to try and focus up here as I finish up my thought. But I think Rubik may eke out the OD in this lane. I think Rubik's one of the few heroes that can deal with the constant Astral spam. But I'd be interested to see how that goes on. Right now, OD is getting absolutely trounced upon. Only 3 CS versus the 14-8 Rubik. In the bottom lane, DK just kind of exists in whatever lane he's in. It's very hard to kill DK. Earthshaker as well can either save or get kills with that fissure. And Warlock Legion, a lot of sustain between those two heroes, so very hard to kill these heroes. I feel like it's going to be kind of a nothing lane unless these two heroes kind of man up on each other, which is what they're kind of doing right now. But I think DK just plays a little bit chill in this lane. It stays relatively static. Top lane, I think the Weaver and the Barathim really want to have a good lane versus this Juggernaut Jakiro. I think Jakiro needs to play a little bit more with his Jug just to ensure that Jug doesn't have, doesn't get trounced on, because Weaver and Barathim, it's very important that these guys are able to roam and get out of lane. As we have a charge on the Juggernaut under tower. Weaver just diving under tower as well. Going to be taking a lot of damage from this tower though. Jakiro dual breath, bring the Spirit Breaker pretty low. Weaver's just going to turn around as meanwhile Odie gets killed by the Rubik. Yikes, he's going to lose a lot of creeps under tower here, missing out on this XP. Wow, that was going on. And yeah, Barathim wants his Weaver to have a good lane so that Barathim can just start roaming around and leaving the Weaver kind of to his own, dealing with this Juggernaut. It is 3-0, favoring NLZ. It seems like Rubik's going to be winning this mid lane at least until 6, and so Rubik's going to need to get active and do things, probably help kill this DK or help deal with this Weaver, because I think this Weaver is going to have a really fun time in this top lane. Just with the lack of support or lack of disable. You really need a roster or something to be able to kill the Weaver in lane. If they are flying out Tangos, which doesn't seem like they have any more regen. We're going to have a charge bottom. Spirit Breaker does not get bashed by Roche. He's going on the Warlock. So a little bit of split prioritization there. Fissure does block him in, so they have locked in here. Jakir is going to TP down. But that's what it's going to be. Yeah, let me try and respond to a message here. Have a rotation by Barathim and Earthshaker top. They're going to be going on the Juggernaut. Fissure follow-up, doing a ton of damage. Yeah, the bug's going to kill this Juggernaut. Actually, the right-click will. So Radiant pick up their first kill of the game. Looks like we had a Jakiro come top. Weaver looking for the big kill. Playing very aggressively on this Weaver. You can kind of tell this player is pretty comfortable on this hero. Relapse gamer. As Rubik continues to crush this mid, 30-13, or 30-13 versus 10 CS, no denies on the OD. Top lane is favoring Weaver, more last hits, more denies. If Juggernaut breaks even with the Weaver, I think they'll count it as a win. Just Weaver is such an oppressive hero to deal with if you don't have a kind of hard disable, which Jakiro does not really provide. Seeing if I can get a co-caster in here to help me do this. Yeah, looks like I might be able to get a caster in here. 1 second.
Hello.
Hello, you're on stream. There you go. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. We are casting NLZ versus Marci Beaucoup, game 2.
Ooh, who won the first game?
Marci B won the first game.
Let's see.
And Weaver picks up a nice kill on the Jakiro, runs away, very low HP. I'm watching it on the delay, by the way. If you just watch the game normally, you can come in.
Okay.
So for everybody watching, this is Granola Ortizi, and he has
Hello.
graciously accepted co-casting with me for this series.
I cannot seem to watch this game. I'm gonna try to find it.
I need a boost you. You're a little quiet. Alright, I have you max boosted, but you're still quiet, so you may want to do something on your end.
Hello?
Hello?
There's not much to do.
Oh, damn. No, they either hear you or they don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Jakira's gonna come bottom, throw a dual breath on the Dragon Knight, but there's no follow-up there. Rubik just continues bullying this Odie. Odie does have the ultimate, but Rubik's shield, we're in no real danger. Rubik throws out the Fade Bolt, gets him low. One more right click will bring him down, but the rotation by Cephalord stuns up the Rubik, and that rotation as well by the Earthshaker. Committing a lot of heroes to try and bring down this Rubik. Has no mana. Arcane Boots in 5, though. We'll pick up the bounty rune. That'll
Oh no,
give him
he's
2
walking
bottle
back in.
charges. Yeah, he's kind of baiting for his team right here. Legion does have the
Yeah,
tool
really.
coming over. They're going to drop the soup on the Earthshaker, but that's immediately going to get stopped. However, duel's going to come out. Oh, nice save by the Astral Imprisonment there. We'll cancel the duel. Earthshaker, pick a target, just right-click something. Goes on the Legion, not enough damage there. Legion's running out super low. Odie, one more right-click from the Rubik will bring him down. He has 4 low heroes for Dire remain at the end of this team fight that claims 2 lives on Radiant. Oh, the Astral on Rubik, that feels horrible to play against us. They're gonna stun up the Spirit Breaker, he will charge in, but that will cost him his life as Legion or odds to finish off that kill. You know, at bottom, DK did find a Jakiro. So a nice pickup.
How did he
there.
manage to kill the Jakiro? That's crazy.
He's out of mana. Looks like Jakiro may have just been out of position. It is a poison DK, so it does do a lot of damage before 10.
Yeah.
Hard drop by Spirit Breaker on the Legion.
Oh, the Warlock. Wait. The Warlock just walks away. Okay.
Maybe no follow-up. We have a charge bottom, but we also have like a go mid, so I'm trying to like watch
Uh-oh.
both. Odie Astrals himself. Looks like there's nothing bottom.
No, I got Astral by the Rubik.
Ah. Yeah, it's hard to tell. Rubik just gonna be right-clicking, bullying this Odie further.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And it appears we have a little bit of a lull. What do you think of these drafts?
I feel like Dire has a stronger draft. They do
feel
a
like their
lot of
team-
damage.
Yeah, I feel like their
They
team
can do a
fight's a
lot of
little bit
damage.
easier to execute.
And Rubik kind of fucks the... it's a free Rubik game when you're playing into a Weaver and an Earthshaker and an Odie, right?
Yeah.
You have so many skills to steal. Oh, Rock?
Yeah, they tried to go on the Odie mid. He was able to get out of there. Odie will Astral Imprison the Warlock. That should secure the kill. Weaver now shows up to deal with this Rubik. Rubik doesn't really have any kind of tools to deal with Weaver other than ulting and getting Sakuchi himself, but Weaver doesn't let him get that. Has the Swarm instead. Means this
Core
Rubik...
Weaver?
What was that?
Is this Core Weaver? It is Core
Yes, this
Weaver.
is a position
Carry
3 Weaver.
Oh, position 3 Weaver, okay.
Weaver was doing very well in the top lane, but Juggernaut has kind of scraped back the lane advantage.
Weaver's top net worth in the game.
Fortified their structures against attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Let's take a look at net worth. Weaver top net worth, followed by Jug. So those heroes are the biggest ones in the game so far.
Oh,
Legion going
mid.
Blameo first. We have a charge mid on the Legion.
Big dead.
Swarm to follow.
Oh,
She should
big
be
alive.
fine with the Stone Hall. Yeah, Rubik's gonna TP and steals time
First two
lapse.
TPs.
Interesting.
It doesn't do
Ooh,
much
Rubik
for you.
case. This Odie's in
You can
danger.
time lapse to banish.
Legion's just gonna duel. Actually, I kind of like that pause on the Legion.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was just vision, but she waited for the Rubik to stop being astral to be able to help kill. But ended up being a no duel anyway. No duel and can Weaver? Weaver
Nice
cannot get
kill
it
by
denied.
Weaver. By Rubik, yeah. Surprised he kept the time lapse and it's just still Shikuchi.
Makes him a little bit
Or
invulnerable,
bugs.
but yeah, Sakuchi gives him a lot more effectiveness
Yeah.
in fights.
Even bugs, right?
Bugs are pretty good. It's only level 1 bugs, though. He did steal it, so he knows it's level 1. Or they.
Oh, it's a skitter step Weaver, I see.
We have a little slow push mid. Warlock, no rock. Jakiro, only level 2 liquid fire. Odie's gonna rotate over, get the astral on Jakiro as Spearbreaker kind of zones
Jakiro's big
away
dead.
these dire heroes. Jakiro will lose his life. As Rubik gets the astral again. Yeah, yikes.
It's such a good Rubik game.
It is a very good Rubik game. They have a lot of disable though on Radiant. DK's gonna get astraled up. 3 heroes down here. Legion's gonna pop the blade now. Yep, she got the duel up.
Yeah.
Do they have the damage to complete the duel? Nope.
Nope. I should get the kill.
We'll get the kills.
They're still charging in here.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
you should cancel that. Didn't get bashed by Roche again. Might do now. Oh, Roche run.
Dire's middle tower
So Legion is duelless at 14 minutes. She's dueled a
kinda
lot of
despair.
things. Yeah, but no duel wins. It's a lot of tanky heroes and a lot of disable and save
is under
on Radiant. Spearburger tried to deny the rune, looks like, but Rubik's gonna have none of that as he takes the rune, is now chasing his Barathim. Rubik has the Fade Bolt, uses it to get that
Nice
last
kill.
hit. Radiant doesn't seem interested in pressing forward.
We'll be able to take this tower uncontested now, I think.
The Juggernaut is here.
to their middle tower.
Oh no, look at Odie's net worth in relation to the others.
Oh no.
Odie's having a terrible,
Is this mid
no
OD?
good game. Yeah, mid OD.
Oh, that's despair.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's
And OD doesn't really have a farming mechanic either.
You're supposed to win lanes and then get kills. That's your farm mechanic as
Yeah.
Odie.
has fallen.
But Rubik won that mid. And Barathim is charging in. They see him on the... see him somehow. And they're just going to turn around and instantly kill him. So that'll be the first duel win for Legion? No? No duel?
Yeah.
No
That wasn't a
duel.
duel? Wow.
I thought they got the duel win.
No, because he probably had the bulldoze, right?
Yeah, the W
Gives him
gives him the
poison
status
and
resist.
Oh, they're gonna get caught here?
Alright, so we had a 5-man rotation by Dire bottom. OD Astrals
Oh
himself.
no, the
Weaver
OD!
has the time lapse, so both these heroes are going to
Nice.
survive the Omni. But Jug is just going to run down this OD on the side. It's going to go down. That's going to be the only kill thus far. Actually, Rubik
looking like a stomp.
Astral finds the
He's gonna die here,
DK.
maybe? Oh, the echo!
Even Echo! Oh, that's a disaster. Nice Echo blink reveal by
Dude.
the Earthshaker.
I thought this was turning into a stomp. Wow, what an echo slam, dude.
Incredible Echo Slam by right in there. Spearbreaker trying to get this Rubik. Rubik with the Astral is kind of ungoable.
Bottom tower is in danger.
No, you have 6 viewers right now. That's crazy.
That is
Way to
pretty
go.
good.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I actually had a ton for the Meepo
Oh,
game.
ODLT used.
Yeah, Odie drops the hammer on Rubik, blinking by the Earthshaker, stuns the Rubik, and an Astral
Oh.
himself. That's gonna buy him a lot of time. Has no blink dagger though, so just gonna be a right click target there. You're gonna find this Rubik and get another killing spree off of him again. And that is definitely needed on this Odie. The kill does not go to him, but he gets good benefit from that assist.
Odie has climbed to 8th in net worth.
Very good. He's better than the enemy supports. Still below his own supports though. Odie's pushing mid. Rubik
Oh, he gets
instant
Odie ulti.
steals the sanities, but it does 0 damage because
Oh, but
Odie
the
has
Spirit
no
Breaker.
mana. Spirit Breaker charge in on the Rubik, not gonna accomplish much. The
I don't
tower's
think they have the
pretty low.
CC.
Yeah, the soup's gonna
Did
keep the
that
Spirit
the
Breaker
CC?
locked in place. W from the Warlock.
No.
Oh, now
Wow.
the Jakiro actually finishes it off. Tower is deniable. Not doing it so far. Dragon Knight in front.
Oh,
It's gonna get gone on by the Legion, but instant cancel by the Astral. This Legion cannot catch a break. The DK is all alone in the middle of 4 dire heroes here. We'll just go down.
I mean, the Legion's doing her job, right? She's just kind of unlucky here.
Yeah, it's just hard to go on anything. You get
Yeah.
stunned or saved to help. Earthshaker's nearby, has the Echo, sees 2 targets, goes in, nice fissure stun, kills the Warlock, Legion very low, Odie's here to right click, pops the Astral. Rubik really wants that Astral. Gonna drop pre-fire, miss
Charge in,
with it.
nice.
Charge in by the Legion. She had a big stick though, so stays alive for a
Weaver's
little bit
here.
longer. Ooh, the bugs. Bringing her down. Legion will go down next. Weaver now with the Desolator. Kills the Jakiro. Odie does die in the back though to Rubik with that big Fade Bolt. So it's a 2 for 3 right now. Astral goes out on the... Who is that? Weaver?
Yep,
Yeah,
Weaver.
the Weaver.
He's fine, though. They don't have detection anymore.
No detection for him because it's just these 2 cores
This-
here.
Mm-hmm.
Cores never by detection. Aghanims on the Rubik. That's pretty early. Rushed it before Blink Deck even. Spirit Breaker's gonna charge him. Nice second bash. He's gonna Astral the
Nice
Weaver
Invis
up.
Rune.
Ooh, I think Omni... No, he didn't have Omni Slash there.
Oh, left the Weaver.
Weaver, Sakuchi, and Astral. Oh my goodness, this Rubik's gonna be very annoying to deal with. They get the dust on him. Rubik's gonna Astral the... Who is that? Hard to tell who's in the Astral side. DK.
DK.
Pops the
Duel?
ult.
Duel? Is there a duel? Oh, there's no Legion.
Yeah, tons of Astrals going off in this fight. It's hard to tell what's going on the side of Rubik because he's trying to control the heck out of the fight. But
Weaver's just shredding everyone.
DK good is down, but Warlock follows soon after. Dire running away with their heroes. Seems like that's going to be it. No Legion in that fight. So core for support. I'm sure NLZ is happy to take those. Weaver finishes off the mid tower.
Rubik has no
0
mana.
It's going to be hanging around this Weaver.
duel?
Has the time lapse,
Nice.
does not use it in time. Legion finally gets her first duel win. They will finish up the Speed Breaker afterwards. Double kill for the Legion commander.
Plus 10. Let's go.
Only took 20 minutes. We got that plus 10.
Not for lack of trying, though.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So he's having a rough game.
Very rough game. Third lowest net worth. They're going to keep going after this Odie here. Potentially. Sakuchi Rubik needs a mana regen item. Just cannot sustain all of these spells being cast.
His mana boots.
He has a
This game's
spell.
mana.
Yeah, he has a mana cost reduction facet, right? I think he went the other one.
Does he?
The area of effect. Earthshaker bottom, hiding in the trees. They scan. I'm not sure whose scan that is. Radiant scan. Okay, so Earthshaker knows he's in danger. Drops the ward.
Oh, they're forming.
They know they're Torment.
Oh?
They have healing ward. Oh, actually, Earthshaker's gonna come out, go on the Warlock. Warlock probably
They're coming
begging his
back
team
for
to
him
come
now.
back through the gate. Oh yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Soup's on for the Earthshaker as Legion picks off his second duel.
Oh, man.
All 5 are going to run through that gate now and likely get the Tormentor. As Weaver
I believe they
mid,
call it a solo dog shit play.
Weaver's going to be hitting this mid tower, using that Desolator to get effectiveness as Dire work on this top Tormentor. Goes on the Jakiro, which is decent. Not the greatest, but decent. Shard pickup.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Weaver's just working on this mid tower. Just being a really annoying Weaver player right now. Going Lincoln's neck to try and slow down this Rubik. Rubik's gonna find a Spirit Breaker, uses the Astral. The Rubik's out of mana at this point. And he steals the
Yes,
charge,
Sakuchi.
but has no mana for it. Could Sakuchi or charge, has Galeri's now. Scoochies forward. Team's nearby. Legion with the blink duel is going to come in.
Duel? Nice.
Use
That's
it.
going to be a free duel.
Oh, nice
Oh no, the
echo to
echo!
cancel it. Astral stops the duel. We get solo Omnied on the Earthshaker though, so he's going to go down. Rubik charges forward, bashing up the Odie. 2 seconds on his Astral. Not going to get it off.
Oh,
Weaver
man.
is going to find the Legion Commander though. Just Janitor. It's going to mop things up. But no additional targets. Weaver's just going to go bottom. Top net worth Weaver. 11,000.
Yeah, they're just having an in this game.
I feel like Radiant's chances of winning are wholly dependent on this Weaver just like killing everybody.
Yeah, and he's getting there.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Bit of a lull in the action. Both sides seem content to farm up at this time. DK did go Mask of Madness Mage Slayer. Really interesting build. Kind of a very early game, I'd say. Early game fight, which I'd argue is what their team needs.
He has kind of been fighting early a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just going to slow down his farm by quite a bit, though. Mom helps a little bit, but Mage Slayer does not. Weaver, Dragonlance Desolator, pretty standard items for a core Weaver, so not seeing like that much difference between what this Weaver's going and what you'd see on like a position 1 Weaver.
Yeah.
Odie's been working on this Hurricane Pike forever. Just hasn't really gotten a goal from any fights to really get it. Earthshaker working towards Ags, has that Blink Dagger. We do have a Smoke Up by Dire here. As they cross the
Echoes
river
up
looking
again.
for something.
Oh, they
Smoke's
broke.
gonna break on the Warlock. They know there's a hero nearby. Smoke's gonna break on the Juggernaut as well. Earthshaker doesn't realize how close he is to
Oh,
danger.
that's flick out.
I think he sees the Warlock there for a split second and blinks away.
Yep.
Dire's
They dusted too.
tower is under attack.
So the smoke doesn't accomplish anything. They do get a ward out actually. Bottom lane, Legion duel finds the Weaver. Weaver's not gonna die to this, I don't think. Be able to time lapse
Oh
it off.
no!
Just a Warlock
He's
here.
dusted.
He's not in any real danger unless the Rubik shows up.
No. Look at that damage.
No, we
Weaver's
have a
going
go
back in.
top actually. DK dies. Rubik getting very low. Oh, Odie actually got cliffed by the Rubik there. Nice telekinesis. But
Oh,
Odie
the
just
kill!
goes around to the back, hits the Juggernaut. That's a nice pickup right there. Even if he dies, that's 100% worth getting a
Okay,
ton of
Weaver
gold
is
for.
still chasing bottom, by the way.
Yeah, Odie is just gonna go down to this Rubik, looks like. Unstoppable streak on B.
Radiant's losing all these fights, but... Oop. Roche tosses his Spur Breaker. Radiant's losing all these team fights, but the Weaver is just farming and creating space on the other side of the map. I think that's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Gold for me.
And Weaver's soon gonna have that Lincoln Sphere. Only like 1,000 gold off that. It's gonna make this hero very hard to catch.
They have anything on Legion to break it? Nope.
Dire's got some deep vision, not utilizing it at the moment. They're just playing down the bottom lane. Have a smoke up by the Earthshaker and Odie here, looking to find something. Ping's coming out. They see the Rubik. They want to go on the Rubik. Spearbreaker's
well,
going to charge in, followed up by the Echo Slam. Solo Echo Slam on him. Can they bring this guy down? Duel comes out. Ooh, Astral. I don't know if that's going to be enough to kill him. No, it's not. He gets some kind of magic barrier from something. He's able to walk out of there. Both of Odie's supports.
He was solar crusted.
He got a magic barrier from something. I wonder if it was a pipe. But Odie's just getting Astral to hell between his own Astrals and Rubik's Astrals. 3 heroes
Glimmer,
dead.
maybe?
Unable to kill. It might have been a Glimmer. It was... Yeah, it was probably Jakira's Glimmer. I don't see a pipe anywhere.
He was definitely solar crusted as well by the.
That doesn't help versus the
Yeah.
the astral damage. It's all magic.
Weaver's shoving racks right now.
Yeah, Weaver making a ton of space. Weaver no
Weaver,
Lincolns
right.
just yet, so Rubik's going to be able to get this astral off. No backup here. I feel like
Oh.
Weaver just ults. Yeah. I think just turns. Astral's really annoying to deal with is the problem. Bottom lane, we have it go on DK, duel. Don't think they're going to be able to bring him down, but he also doesn't have any friends coming. Meanwhile, top
Where
Rubik
are all
is
his
still
friends?
just...
They're diving a tier 2. Oh no.
Well, they're trying to
'cause
kill
they're trying to
this
kill the Weaver.
Rubik. The problem is I don't think they have detection. They have a sentry, but no real detection for the
Oh no, the jug's in. Oh no, the jug ulti. It was an ag
swish
ulti.
slash, swish slash. Jug's gonna come in, drop the real slash on Spirit Breaker. I think Weaver may have tried to go in there and get it off of Sakuchi, but unable to do that. And this Rubik is just being an absolute menace this game. Just so
Man, this game is
unkillable.
Weaver versus Rubik.
Yeah, Sakuchi versus Astral. I think Weaver needs to build items to try and deal with this Rubik.
Yeah.
They're going S and Y and a crit. I guess just having right click damage helps you with that, but you need a way to get on top of this Rubik and burst him, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
He is problem number 1 on NLZ.
Are scanning for enemies.
So after all that action, only one hero dies, because the DK did survive that, and just a little bit of tower damage on the bottom lane.
Can't believe
Weaver-
DK survived all that.
Yeah. Just Rubik just being annoying as hell. They're actually going to find a DK here. He blinks into the waiting arms of Legion. Legion's going to try and like bring him down a little bit. They want to lower him so Legion can actually get some duel damage this time. So they're just going to wait on the duel. Well, why? See, they're just
There you
waiting and
go.
waiting and waiting,
That's
and
the way
then
to
they
do
duel.
it.
Yep.
Weaver got a kill, by the way. They're pushing racks again.
Ooh, Weaver killed the Juggernaut. Oh, they Echo Slammed the Juggernaut with the Earthshaker. So the TP Sport's coming in, a Warlock at least, and the Rubik. Rubik has
Oh.
Sakuchi, and he's swarming on out of here.
Oh, he's
Trying to
going.
Ooh, no detection for him.
They have sentries.
He's all low.
They have
If he
him,
gets
they
got,
have him.
oh, if that W,
Oh,
that
no.
enchant totem land, I think he
Oh,
must
they
be
have him
dead.
again. They have so many sentries
They
in
have the
lane.
charge. Well, he cancels his own Sakuchi there. Astral. Swarm
Nice bugs.
catches him.
He
Ultimate.
has to die here, right?
I don't think
They
they have
don't have
detection.
dust. Oh my gosh, dude.
He's just gonna go into the trees. No TP on him though. If they check his items, they can tell that he has no TP. But they probably think he just ran away. As they looking for him, but they give it a chase.
Where's the dust pickups? They need dust.
If they
not
used them,
sentries.
what do you mean? It's a 30-second cooldown.
They used 3 sentries.
Oh my goodness. No, they used a
None of those
dust.
players had dust.
I thought they used a dust top. Anyway, Rubik is going to find
Oh no.
someone in the Earthshaker in the Astral.
Dude,
Is
this is the definition of space creation.
he's lost Astral. He's killable. He's
He has no
killable.
dust. He has no
Fissure?
dust.
Fissure? If he goes in?
He has no dust.
No dust. Has sentries with no dust.
It's not placing sentries either. They have sentries in lane, right? But it's not. really
Weaver's
helpful.
bottom, casually pushing the lane as Dire hanging up top.
There's a DD top that they can grab.
Looks like Dire got to come out and try and find something. Rubik leading the way
Dire's bottom
as he
tower is under attack.
Sakuchi's on forward looking for this DK or Earthshaker. Weaver's
They're
bottom,
chasing-
so
oh.
yeah. All Echo Slam committed. They finally killed this Rubik. No
Wow.
buyback. Legion's
Wait,
get
the
a
duel? The duel?
duel in, gets the kill. So more damage on the
Got
Legion.
115 damage now, yeah. They're gonna lose racks for this.
They're losing racks
up.
though, is the thing. We're actually
TP 2.
just losing a tower at the time being. They TP multiple heroes. I feel like there's an opportunity there for Radiant to jump on one of these heroes that wasn't TPing. But
Surveyors are charging in right now.
instant back, they stun out the Juggernaut, more TP's coming, this time the Legion. Weaver does finished up that Lincoln, sir.
It's going S and Y next.
And how's the Jug doing? I haven't checked on him in a while. Going S and Y after Axe Maelstrom. Pretty tanky build on the Juggernaut. Trying to survive the burst damage coming out from like Echo Slam and Bear Rhythm combo and Sandy's Eclipse. More conservative than going like a Mjolnir Rush, for example.
Yeah.
Radiant are going to be running top, perhaps to get the Tormentor. They're hanging around the area. Yeah, with the Swarm and Desolator, this is going to be a very easy Tormentor kill. It's going to go on the Spirit Breaker. It's just a standard good shard pickup, slight buffs to his Q.
I was meant to have this.
Odie managed to finish up his Pike and is now going Aghanims as pings come out on the Legion. We were maybe trying to go for this guy, but gonna reveal under the wave. Seems like this Legion wants to go on the Weaver and Radiant want to go on the Legion here, but Legion kind of sniffs it out and starts running away with the smoke from Ninja Gear.
Byron has 5 wards right now, going straight down the river. That's crazy. I don't see any Radiant wards.
Radiant have
They have
one
one
top
ward on
lane.
the east side.
I have a
Oh,
blink
top
duel
lane.
onto the Odie. Almost got out of there, but long range blink, or long range duel secures
We're
that
still
kill.
pushing. They're TPing.
Yeah, Weaver poking and prodding, trying to force people to come back. This Jug doesn't have detection, so can't really kill this Weaver. Unless the Weaver
No,
really
but the team is there.
screws up. But the Rubik now comes up, steals the Sakuchi. They
Oh, the
have
dust.
the dust for him, no duel, but Rubik's going to be able to stay on top of this guy. Ooh, full Omni Slash, connects to the creep wave, no time lapse though.
Oh, they got him. Nice.
Finally going to bring this Weaver down. And finally give themselves a little bit of breathing room. As actually we had the
Chasing now.
DK. We had the DK and Earthshaker actually just shoving it mid, so these lanes are constantly shoving it.
Good plays by
Yep.
Radiant.
Very good constant pressure. Charge by Baratham onto the Rubik. Doesn't cancel. Full commits. Has dust, doesn't use it. Earthshaker pops dust, but doesn't really have a team around. So Legion's gotta get blinked on by the DK. Very tanky hero. Swift Slash doesn't do much. It seems like Radiant don't really want to do this fight. They're missing a Weaver. This is the whole dire team right
Oh,
here.
GK might be in trouble here. He's farming!
Oh man, blinks
Okay.
out of there.
Wow, okay.
Dire seem to be split targets right now, but Rubik's coming in now. Gonna see the OD.
Oh, OD. Oh, no.
Goes on the OD. 5 seconds on the Sandys. That's not gonna do anything to the OD, but will do stuff to the rest of his allies. They drop the rock,
it's
so
rock.
on Spearbreaker. Doesn't do anything because of Bulldoze. Duel comes out onto the DK. Do they have the damage? Ooh, Astral by the OD will save him. No duel damage. Weaver's now alive, though.
He's gonna
TP's
die.
in. Weaver starts doing a ton of damage to these heroes, but just a lot of sustain coming out. Echo
Oh,
Slam
the
onto
Echo!
a ton of things. Kills up the Jakiro. Now these dire heroes are very low. As Odie in the right, just right clicking this Juggernaut. Tries to get him down. One more right click will finish him off. Gets the finish off on that Juggernaut. Rubik now no Sakuchi. Just it needs to not give it to the Rubik and he'll survive.
Nice.
Get that kill and double kill on the Weaver. 3 for 3.
OD is now 7th in net worth. It's getting there.
He's climbing.
Yep. Or has he been at 7th?
They ignored the OD that fight. He was able to right click things and get Astrals
Yeah.
off in that clutch moments. Weaver immediately runs mid, starts pushing out the mid lane.
Good player.
Legion has no Lincoln's break, but does need to rely on the Warlock to Q or W the Weaver to break that.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Legion smells the OD, sees him in lane, is going to run at him, but OD is going to TP out of there. And we're going to have a Roche go.
This Weaver's Roche, presumably.
Yeah, Reaver's already dropped the Wraith Band for it. I almost think you keep it on the Odie. Just because Odie's going to
Yeah.
be able to bring down these priority targets way faster. But
And Weaver's not really dying.
yeah, Weaver has double the net worth of Odie, so there is that. Weaver can play even more aggressively with that Aegis. Dire feeling a little unsure, staying back in their base right now.
That revealed the ward.
Let me check. One sec.
They smoked under vision.
Yeah, there
They
we
may
go.
have just
Okay.
smoked under vision there.
Yeah, so Dire don't really see anybody on Radiant. They see a sentry get placed, so they know they're top. Radiant, meanwhile, operating very little vision. Smoked up. Waiting to see a hero reveal. Wave is going to be pushing in. Does anybody have a banner? I think that... Was that the first rush? I think that was.
That was second round. Oh no, that's second.
I don't see the banner on anybody.
Not fast enough.
Might have a go on the Weaver here. Show them lane. Jug and Legion are nearby.
I think Weaver's going up that.
Fight. Ooh, Rubik out of position. Gets stunned up by the DK. But
He's fine.
survives for the time being. Duel comes out trying to get the kill, but Astral saves for the time being. I don't think it's going to be enough to save. Yeah. So 2 heroes dead. No Echo Slam on Radiant. Has the buyback. He wants to use it. Holding off for now. Baratham getting very low. Getting chased by the Juggernaut. Will likely go down as Rubik, meanwhile, in the back. Trying to find this Odie. Baratham actually gets out. Can this Odie get out? Weaver is actually right-clicking tower all the while this is going on. Odie will go down to the Rubik. Unfortunate
sneak.
that the... Good?
What a sneak! What a sneak! Oh, what a freeze! He's fine. Actually.
Shakira catches. There is a Legion in the area. She has duel and one.
Oh, dusted, dusted.
They need to break this Lincoln's though. Dust is up. I think you just time lapse
no,
right
no,
now
so
to
greedy!
reposition. Yeah, time lapse
What a
full
play.
HP to reposition. Nice time lapse there.
Yeah, nice play.
No. Rubik is nearby. No Sakuchi though, so no chase. Yeah, the only thing that Marci Beaucoup needed differently that last fight was they needed the Earthshaker to not get dueled there. Their Echoes is very important in these team fights. Checking out core items, DK went S and Y, working on AC, just going full tank DK as the position 1. It's normally what you see on like a position 3, but I have a charge in on the Rubik in the mid lane. His team is nearby, but there's no rock available, so
Children.
won't have that for the fight. Ooh,
Oh.
Earthshaker comes in. They're kind of clumped up though. This Jug is going to do a lot of damage. Rubik is going to get out. Blinks away. Dragonite gets dueled by the Legion. This is a long duration duel here with the Aghanims. Will get
Wow, barely got it.
the victory at
Weaver.
the very last second there. Meanwhile, top, Weaver right clicking. Still has that Aegis, 90 seconds. Has the time lapse too. Just right clicks the Rubik, getting pretty low on the Rubik. Legion is coming up. No duel for the time being. Juggernaut did die during this. Looks like he got left behind mid while this is going on. But Weaver now getting bullied, getting their HP lowered and lowered by the natural imprisonments. Aegis will pop. First death. Baratham coming in. This is nicely timed Baratham actually, right as the Aegis pops. If they bring this Aegis down, it's huge. Ooh, Astrals himself stays alive for a second. Odie's coming in as well. Rubik
Duel?
blinks forward aggressively. Pops the Lincolns on the Weaver, no duel.
Pop duel on Lincoln.
Oh, pop duel on Lincoln, sorry. Weaver getting very low. Has the time left in 1 second. Has it? Oh, doesn't use it. Maybe not aware that they had it. But did not get that
Wait,
time
Odie's
left
in
off.
now.
Yep, Odie now out of position. He's getting swarmed by these heroes. No Earthshaker to support. And Odie has the axe pop, but will go down. So Jug did die during that.
Oh! Echo!
Oh, nice Echo. Finds 2. Gets the Warlock. Duel in 10. Earthshaker hiding in the trees. Ooh. I don't think anybody knows he's there.
No.
Rocks are looking for him. Rubik has gem to deal with this Weaver. Anyway, I was talking about core items. DK kind of going like 3 items even though he was the 1. Weaver going 1 items even though they were the 3. Juggernaut as he gets bashed up by Spearbreaker. Kind of a standard build, S and Y, Mjolnir. Sometimes you see Manta depending on the game. Odie, just so poor working on that BKB. I'm not even sure if this is a good BKB game. There's going to start right-clicking the mid tower. Odie and Weaver do come up, so the whole team is available. They're going to charge in on the Juggernaut. It's going to get silenced and then stunned. Ulted by the Barathum, very low. Pops the full Omni. Gets cancelled very shortly, but the Swift Flash comes out to follow. Dual target on the Barathum. I'm not sure if that's the dual target you want with all these heroes in the game, but they run out with that kill. Astral on the Legion Commander, who's getting right-clicked by the Odie, and the DK getting very low. Sakuchi coming up. Can they cancel the blink? They do cancel the blink. We were trying to get the last hit on this guy, but Legion able to get out. They leave the Rubik. See the gem? Anybody see the gem? Nobody sees the gem.
Rubik buyback.
Rubik instant buyback. Gem on the ground. They see the Weaver coming with these wards, so they're going to be able to run away. What do they record this game? Legion. Very standard build. You see Ags blink. Sometimes you see a Lincoln's Popper. Ooh, Warlock going to get caught out of position here. And just pops. You have an Echo Slam mid onto 2. Rubik and Juggernaut. If they're able to pop this guy, it'd be huge, but Juggernaut's able to spin out of there. Now Radiant are on the run as Weaver's top, pushing down the racks. Gets 1 racks, range racks. As Dire are focusing their attentions on this mid team. Or this mid part of Radiant. Weaver gets out of there scot-free. And yeah, you said it best earlier. This is definitely just a Rubik v Weaver game. Just whatever hero can have the more impact. Although at this point, the Odie's...
every now and then.
Yeah, you have a good Echo Slam. At this point, the Odie's actually like hasn't enough farm to be impactful.
Yeah.
The duels especially are very important to being able to kill some of these priority targets.
Mm-hmm.
Gem is still there, so Rubik just walks over and gets it. So he's going to pick that up again.
He is on dieback now, though.
Yep. Let me see if I can... Roshan not available. Dire just hang out around the pit. Weaver is showing top.
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
Have a smoke up by Radiant. Pushing high ground. Earthshaker drops the ward. They see Legion. They're going to blink in on the DK. Drop stuff on the Legion Commander. Followed up by the Fissure. But no follow-up as the OD doesn't really go in. He astrals the
nice
DK.
save.
This will be enough to save the duel, but not enough to save his life as Weaver's in the back trying to find a pick. Without that DK though on the front line, it's very difficult for these Radiant heroes to go in because they explode pretty quickly when focused. Earthshaker hanging out in the pit, scouts out the Juggernaut, but W's out of there. As Spearbreaker and Weaver combined are enough to really keep these lanes pushed out and just constantly pressuring these with the Radiant base, or the Dire base. Odie's getting visioned here by Juggernaut illusions. They're starting to run at him. A charge is coming in the back. Nice
the Echo bait!
Finds 3, followed up by the Spearbreaker stun. Perfectly timed. They kill the Jakiro instantly. Legion very low. Wants to find a dual target. Sees the Weaver, but breaks the duel on the Lincolns. Weaver will time lapse the damage off. Juggernaut Swift Slash. Now the full Omni Slash doing a ton of damage.
Oh, Weaver's dead though.
No. The Weaver was seen by the Rubik Gem. And so the Omni will kill that Weaver. OD has Axe pop, so he's left alone with the shield for now. But Barathon coming in can prolong his life for a little bit. Will go down. Barathon right clicks the Watcher, make sure that's secured before he dies. As he gets focused up by these remaining Dire heroes. Bottom lane, double siege creeps pushing in the tower. Jug and Rubik both tried to TP to it, but just Rubik goes.
Oh, the free Roche. You know, it's 51 to 27 and they're only 8k up, 9k up now. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it was a pretty even game all along. And I feel like that fight only soured and they only killed that Rubik, that Weaver, just because they didn't pick up that gem. And the Rubik was able to get the gem again. That's the only vision they had of the Weaver. Just because they weren't paying attention, didn't see that gem. This is going to be the second rush of the game. Juggernaut working on it. As Radiant do not have the heroes to contest, not even an Echo Slam for a very fancy player. If you're Radiant, do you want to try and like get picks, or are you more interested in split pushing?
I think there's so much better at split pushing than NLZ is.
They have the Spirit Breaker, they have the Weaver. Those two heroes are very good at just keeping lanes pushed down. And even with the Aegis down, even when they were behind in gold, they are technically ahead in buildings with that top lane constantly pushing in from that Rax being dead. So the pressure is on Dire. They need to keep these lanes pushed out. They need to try and find a pick so they're able to just force high ground. But Barathon just able to just run in and run out, kill these creep waves at 2,000 move speed. So very difficult for to get a creep wave even close to the Radiant base. Looking at this from a tactical perspective, Dire know they're getting their lanes pushed in, so they need to have heroes be pushing out the lanes, and so there's going to be opportunities for Radiant to jump on one of these heroes when they're seen in a lane.
But they are just 5-manning right now.
Yeah, that's the strength of their draft, is the 5-man. If like the Legion gets caught and dies, that's like a huge disable on their team that they don't have for the team fight. So it's just very difficult to really
want
solo
to push
push.
top though. Where is the Weaver? It's top. Where's the Spirit Breaker? It's bottom. There's a charge out bottom, so bottom will have a big wave pushing as well.
Have a go mid, Echo Slam on the Rubik. Not enough damage though, not nearly enough. Rubik will just only take about 800 damage there. So no Echo. Weaver showing top. Jack has no detection though.
Spirit keeps going.
Spearbreaker doing a great job of pushing out this bottom wave. Soon creeps are going to be
Letting the wave through.
siege creeps are going to be hitting the Dire base, so they don't have a ton of time here. Weaver's also top, cutting the wave. No Echo Slam though. It's coming up soon.
Careful about bottom. There's 2 siege creeps and 4 range creeps.
Yeah, Rubik's going to
TPing Rubik back, yeah.
The moment this Rubik shows, I think Radiant take the opportunity and make a jump. Like, no Rubik here.
This Rax is going.
Yeah, Weaver top, taking the rack, so Dire losing base while this is going on. I feel like Weaver comes back now when they take the fight. I feel like that's the best play. Yep, Weaver TPing back now. They know the Rubik is back in his base, so Rubik won't be here for this fight. Oh no, he asked for the charge target. No follow-up. Fissure comes out. Invis, no detection. And by this point, the Rubik is here.
Wait, nobody has detection on this team. Nobody has detection except the Spirit Breaker's 2 sentries, that's it.
There is a dire ward inside the Radiant base here. That's giving them a lot of vision. So they know exactly who's in the base and who's not split pushing.
Well, now Rubik's caught back up, right? So it's not that bad for them for Dire to take a fight now.
NLZ are scared, it seems. They are down 1-0 in the series, and if they lose this game, they're out from the tournament.
Is this loser bracket?
Yep. Quarterfinals. Winner of this series goes to the grand final. Lincoln's popped on the Weaver. Legion. Oh, cast duel, but Weaver gets 4-staffed away. As Jug begins the siege, Weaver's just gonna right-click him though and scare him away.
A lot of damage there.
30 seconds on the Aegis. Jug probably doesn't mind popping it for doing a bit of damage on the tower. Barathum is pushing in that bottom wave again. Now there are creeps sitting outside Dire base here. Yep, Barathum is going to go high ground and start right-clicking this tower. So Dire probably feel pressed to start something now. Yep, Jug is gonna swift slash in, but just
GK.
explode. Aegis 3 seconds. Is he gonna die before the Aegis? 2 seconds on the Aegis. It pops. That is unfortunate timing as they duel the Odie. He's gonna go down. Has the buyback. Not using it
Legion
for the
might
time
die
being.
here.
Rubik is gonna die. He's diebacked. As now the Barathum's
Legion died
charging
too.
in.
Echo!
Oh my goodness. Echo Slam doing a ton of damage. 3
Breaker's
heroes
in.
dead on the side of Dire. Juggernaut and Warlock all alone. Warlock used the rock though. He's just gonna go down. They have Barathum Nether Strike
5-man dead.
for the Juggernaut. That's gonna be a wipe. Oh no. Odie not buying back and all that.
You don't need to. NLZ will need to buy though.
Now Radiant pushing in. Barathum charges in 2000 speed. I'm in your base. I'm hitting your racks. What are you gonna do about it? Jug's the only one to buy back so far. We have 3 buybacks now. 2 simultaneously. As we
Rubik
have
doesn't
no...
have buy. Oh, that's dieback, huh? He has money. Oh, he doesn't have the money for it. It's not. It's on CD.
Let's see. Looking at buyback status, Rubik is 1,000 gold off, Warlock 300. So Rubik playing without buyback.
It's buyback off the eye.
Weaver gets the Brax mid. As there's just
Another 11K
one
up.
melee Rex remaining. Legion finds a dual target, goes in the Earthshaker. Oh, Earthshaker just does like 1,500 damage to himself on
Oh
the
no!
blade mill.
Rubik needs to leave. He has a greater healing lotus though.
Legion Commander gets gone by the Spirit Breaker. Ton of damage coming up from the Spirit Breaker. DK now blinks in,
Doing
tanking
work.
the Swift Slash as Weaver's just right click and Jug's just focusing the DK. That's not the hero you want to focus on. She goes on the Spirit Breaker instead. Spirit Breaker gets shielded by something.
Oh, gets 4-staffed.
Oh, talent. Ooh, Jug's just running and trying to kill the Spirit Breaker. Spirit Breaker instantly Q's back. Ooh, dodges
Oh,
the
the
Astral.
ult see while he's magic immune.
Dodges the Sanity's Eclipse with the Q. 2 heroes dead on Radiant. Have buyback. Rubik's coming up. They only have the 1 Rax remaining though. It is going to be so hard for them to make plays now outside of their own base aggressively because the Barathum and the Weaver are going to be shoving in lanes. Juggernaut is going Swift Blink, went Scotty as his penultimate item. Warlock has the Ags, no Refresher. Do you have any opinions on that? Like which is better, the Ags or the Refresher?
On who?
On Warlock.
On Warlock?
I tend to think the Ags isn't that good.
I'm not a Warlock player. I wouldn't know.
It
Does he have
doubles...
the mana pool to use it? Oh, he does. For
He
sure.
does.
Refresher. Yeah.
Like you go Aghanim Scepter because it,
But he
like,
also got the golem on death as well, right? So I have 3 golems
Right.
theoretically. But then
Like
with the refresher, you can get double fatal bonds and stuff like that. So I can see the value in that too.
I tend to like Refresher for the double AoE BKB piercing stun and the double fatal bonds.
Yeah.
But if all you're doing is getting one rock off, and the 2 golems do definitely, it doubles their damage
Yeah.
effectively. So Dire now feeling very...
Does Ags affect your golem on death? Do you get 2 golems there too?
I think it's just 1.
Because if you get 2, then it's worth it for sure.
Gonna have a very quick Roche here pick up by Radiant. Imagine, actually, they could put it on the Odie here. Odie's kind of gotten the items he needs to right click. Yeah, Aegis on the Weaver. She's on the
banner.
Odie. Banner in the pit, as it
They left the
belongs.
banner. Oh no. They forget? Just
Yeah,
didn't want it? They didn't care
That's where
for
the
it?
banner belongs. Worthless item. Like, why do they need the banner? There's one Rax.
Them to be able to, like, siege and shit, right, if they want to.
I mean, yeah, you pick it up, but in this game, it doesn't really matter. Just 1 Rax.
They could also use it for the tier 4s.
Weaver's gonna walk at this Rax. With Aegis and time-lapse, I don't think they have any possibility of stopping this Rax from going down. They will certainly try those. DK
Oh, DK
digs
dead.
in on an ice path.
Oh, Weaver's duel!
He's so tanky though. Weaver in the back gets dueled. Legion takes a ton of damage from the Odie though. Ooh, Sandy's Eclipse gonna bring him down. Dieback on the Legion Commander. But DK is also gonna go down. No buyback. Earthshaker BKB in base alone. W's out of there. Weaver now trying to find a target. Decides to go for the Mega Creeps. Will get the Mega Creeps. Time lapse is
Megas.
out of there. Dire desperately
Time to
want
go
to try and
now.
find something. Jug blinks forward, trying to get anything, but the Fissure doesn't block him. He's able to run back into base. Astra now on the Odie.
The
keeps him
Golem's
locked into
AFK.
place. Golem's just hitting creeps right now. As this bug has been hitting Jakiro for like the last 20 seconds now, taking a ton of damage from just that one bug. And it's very
Bugs are still AFK, or the Warlock's still AFK.
able to Wind Waker
Oh,
out.
the Echo Slam!
Onto 1. Jakiro getting low. I'm surprised no one has died yet. The 2 heroes died at the start of the fight, but no one has left thus far. Earthshaker gets astraled again.
Weaver's
On the
just
back,
hitting
Odie
the
and Juggernaut
golems.
just hitting each other. Odie's gonna go down, so the Jug gets that kill. Jug is full resources, full HP. Where'd he go? He's chasing a Weaver, and the Weaver ran away. Mega Creeps
Megas
now,
now.
though, pushing into base. As Earthshaker's gonna go
Earthshaker's
in
in.
hard. Ooh, nice Glimmer, though. Stops him. Ice Path to
He's
follow.
kicked out of the air.
Getting very low from the macro. Jug has the Swift Slash, kills him instantly. Dire hold, but they do lose Megas. Or they do, yeah, get Mega.
It's only a 4K net worth difference.
Yep, and notably, Dire did not need to buy back there on anybody.
Yep.
So Rubik isn't the greatest hero to deal with Mega Creeps. Like Fadebolt gets damage reduced over time, so even with this 3.8 second cooldown Fadebolt, am I reading that right? Okay. 3.8 second Fadebolt, it still doesn't do a lot of damage to creep waves. You got to use it consistently to bring them down. Juggernaut's going to be found actually by a charge and by the Spirit Breaker. Has no Nether Strike to
Oh, they got the
cancel.
bugs.
BKB, ooh, Juggernaut goes down
The damage.
dead for a minute 30.
Weaver has a
no
butterfly
buyback.
pocketed, by the way. Trade out the
Probably
boots,
want to
maybe?
swap power treads for that. Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
he did.
All right, no Juggernaut. This game just got very hard for NLZ. That could have been the game right there.
Is that a buyback? Or dieback?
Yeah, he died 6 minutes ago. Or pop back 6 minutes ago. So not available. Weaver now, smelling victory.
Fucking...
Runs in. Rubik blinks aggressively. Astrals him up. Not sure
okay,
about these Astrals. Drops the sand. He's half
Oh, he's
HP.
dueled!
They get
He's
the
dueled!
duel.
Oh my God,
Huge
they
kill
got him.
on the Weaver. He could buy back time lapse in if he wanted to. DK now is sitting in the macro pyre, taking
No,
so
what
much
a
damage.
throw.
Dies. No buyback.
Wow.
And
What a
Legion-
nice play by the Legion.
Very nice getting that that duel off. I'm
That
not
was
sure
an
what broke the
8K
Lincolns.
throw, by the way.
Yeah.
4K, I'm sorry. A 4K throw. Holy shit.
That's
That
a
was so
lines
brazen
break.
to be like right above the tier 4s there.
Well, they knew the Juggernaut didn't have buyback. So they just felt, we're just going to walk in and right click the throw. Not respecting the duel, though. Ooh, Baratham here. Invis runs away at Mach 10. Where's Legion going? She's looking for a kill
She's
here.
looking for
Ooh,
the
finds the
OD.
OD. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, does OD have it alt casted? He does. Oh no, he's doing so much damage to himself.
That's unlucky.
For the folks at home, if you weren't aware, if you're versus a Legion or an Axe as an OD, don't alt cast Arcane Orb, because they will Blade Mill and you will kill yourself with your own
Instantly.
Arcane Orbs. Baratham now cutting the wave mid, so there will be no push.
Instant some mega creeps. They're going through backdoor. Can they go through backdoor? They
They
are.
can. Ooh, they can. This Legion has plus 400 dual damage.
Remember
Weaver's
when it was 20
coming up
minutes and she
though.
had 0 dual damage?
So if Weaver wanted to make a play here, Weaver could time lapse and go back to base, the enemy
Oh.
base. They have a go in by Legion, both
Wait, BKB.
supports going in on the Legion. She W's herself, so that gives her immunity for the time being. Echo
There's the
Slam
Echo.
onto the 2. Legion taking a long time to die. There's a Rubik incoming. If she can stay alive for just a little bit longer,
Nope.
no. Weaver shows up with that right click damage, brings her down. Warlock now. No rock.
Oh, they got the jug. They got the
Has
jug.
the buyback though. Jug able to get his full Omni off, doing a ton of damage to the DK and
Not enough.
Earthshaker. Swift Slash will finish off the Earthshaker. Instantly buys backs on him. In the back, Spirit Breaker just focusing down this Warlock who will die. No rock. Has the buyback though.
The
Juggernaut
Rubik?
in the back. Kind of killing the bug off of his team. Oh, Rubik just jumps away as a dragon. That was weird to look at, but he's getting charged by the Spirit Breaker. Spirit Breaker just wailing on him. One bash will kill him. Nether
Oh,
Strike will
Spirit
finish
Breaker's
him
winning
off.
the game. Holy shit.
Rubik has the buyback. Buybacks instantly. As now they're trying to find this Juggernaut. Gets charged up. They're gonna get on top of this Juggernaut here. Has a Swift Slash. Spearbreaker respects the Juggernaut and goes away. Well, the Legion's dead again. They forced buybacks. Roshan is not available. What do you do here as Radiant?
You find a pick here, which you will pretty easily, I think. Juggernauts.
Weaver has no disable for him, so it's a little bit hard. Rubik is going on a spirit quest right now. Not sure what he's up to.
Oh, there's
he's,
a jug.
He's trying to get his tier 5 net neutral items. Ooh, nice ice path there. Cancels the charge in by the Baratham. Weaver's just going to start right clicking tower.
This tier 4. That's
10
crazy.
seconds on Legion. They have a fort. They're going to use it. DK blinking on the jug, followed up by an Astral. That's not what you want to do with a DK stun, though. As Legion's going to be able to come back here. No one dead thus far. Warlock, very low. Sandy's Eclipse drops, trying to kill the Juggernaut. Unable to kill him. Ooh, Nether
got
Strike
him.
pops him off. Instant buyback, though. Echo Slam in the back on the 2 supports, bringing them down. Warlock is able to get his ult off, though, and kill 2
Weaver's
dead
just
on the
correct.
side of Radiant. Ooh, they're losing this fight here. 3 dead now as the TK goes down. Legion's just bumping up the whole team with that AoE. Press the attack. So they hunt down the Weaver. Weaver's gonna be able to
they got
get
the
out of there.
Weaver?
Ooh, Juggernaut blinks forward, has the
The detection.
Mind Breaker to try and bring him down. Weaver's just kiting a little bit. In the
Wow, what a
base, we have
kite.
Earthshaker getting killed up by the Legion. They kill the Jug, get his buyback, but they lose 4 for it. Massive network and XP changes again.
They have buybacks, though. Actually, it's a dieback on the Earthshaker.
Buyback Earthshaker, and it's going to be a pretty expensive buyback situation here. In just a second, if they are able to push this lane out. This one catapult coming down the lane.
They gotta protect their ancient. They can't commit to this push.
Ancient is dying right now. Jakira's back in base. Ooh. This Ancient is very exposed. There's no fort. I think Weaver could just get bots TP in and end this game. Yeah, Weaver's...
He's already there.
Yeah, oh no, this is gonna be bad.
Oh,
I
look,
don't
they're
think
trying to
they have a way
trade.
I think they have a way to stop. No, they're just gonna get stunned up here by the Spear Breaker. Weaver's coming in, drops the banner,
no.
picked it up from the Roche pit. It was tactical the whole
The
time.
banner.
Jakira desperately
The
right clicking.
banner,
It's they have no way to stop
Whoa.
this Weaver. They lose to that.
I told you the banner's value.
Marci, Beaucoup.
Wow, what a game.
2
They're down
O's.
38 to 65, by the way.
NLZ.
That's crazy.
A desperate defense by NLZ was not enough. And they will be
That was a fun game to
eliminated
watch.
from Wex bracket. Marci, Beaucoup going on. Who are they fighting? They're gonna play. Oh, I apologize. It's the next game is the one before grand final. So Marci Beaucoup is going to go play against Savory Characters, and the winner of that game plays against Blob in the grand finals. So Marci Beaucoup moves forward. NLZ is eliminated. 2-0, quick series, 66-minute game. Thanks, Granola, for hopping on, finishing that off.
Of course.
With me.
It's a fun
And-
cast as always.
Yeah, very fun cast. Hope all the viewers enjoy this one. We'll see you all next time.
Night.